What you start off by doing is you want to brainstorm all of the major projects or initiatives that you have going on. You want to use the 2x2 to prioritize them or to rank those. So one project, one initiative per sticky note. And we're saying this, you're trying to come to an agreement about what is the impact that we believe this is going to have on our group or on the organization. And so that's the vertical axis. And then you're going to go back. What is our confidence level that we're going to get the desired outcome? And so over on your left-hand side is low confidence. We don't really know how we're going to achieve this desired outcome. And over on the right-hand side is high confidence. We have this stuff figured out. We've done it before. There's really very low uncertainty in this. You would find these little clusters where here is a high impact, highly confident project. And then you would see over on the left-hand side, a high impact item with low confidence. So what are you doing as a CTO at that moment? It's super interesting. The stuff in the upper right-hand quadrant, high impact, high confidence, you're just going and executing it. And so you're forming your agile teams. If you already have them, then you're good to go. And again, hopefully you've built in a little bit of learning so these people have confidence to continuously improve and to overcome their own obstacles as they can. They're good to go. But as you start tending over to the left, you're increasing uncertainty. And so now you're at risk that if you just execute through that, you're going to fail. And so there, over on this on the upper left, now is where you start applying things like the empathy work and the exploration work and running experiments, because there's a bunch of stuff that you need to learn. You have to figure stuff out. You have to be in explore mode in order to learn what needs to be done. And so as you learn, you're moving it over into the high impact, highly confident. And so just by taking, and that's where you might have to form a different team, because the skill set there is different if you have to be in learning mode. It can't just be, sort of the turnkey, tell me what to do, I can go do it. It's got to be the people that know how to do the empathy work or have to run the experiments or have to figure stuff out. But you can just see that you're more likely to achieve your high impact, your desired outcomes if you do the learning mode first. And so you're doing that sort of work, and then you move it over into high confidence, high impact, and now you've got those things that are good to go.
I love that observation around the senior leadership team having different perspectives. Regular conversations in the C-suite where the CTO is involved might be where something like P3 might have the appearance of ready to go for everybody except the CTO, who's like, hang on, there's uncertainty. And so when you have those disagreements in the SLT, and sort of, is that a communication tool at that point?
If I'm a CEO and I see how misaligned everybody is, I've got some work to do to get people aligned. Actually, in startups too, right? You're going to have certain people, certain engineers that actually like the chaotic, ad hoc, let me go figure this stuff out. That's just sort of, they're more entrepreneurial. That's how they're built, right? And often those people will leave the startup the moment everything becomes too execution focused and there's layers of management sitting on top of them, because it's just not their bailiwick. They just kind of don't like it. And so I think it's a great way to ensure that you're using your people the best way they want to be used, where you can actually build this sort of thing into your sprint planning. And so it could be that what you want to do is you realize you want to teach people more of this exploration work. And so you could say, listen, during one sprint a month, we're going to add some exploration stuff. We're not just going to do pure execution. And so then as a team, you're going, okay, well, what sort of exploration work should we do? And then you could start going down the process of, well, what would be really super high impact or potentially high impact? So let's go run a radical experiment that might have like a big jump in user engagement. And we're just going to do that once a month.
If you're in high impact, low confidence, you do exploration. If you're in high confidence, high impact, you can execute with confidence. And I'm sure for the bottom two, low impact feels a little, why even consider that, right?
And so somebody comes with an idea and everybody's all like, ugh, God, that's ridiculous. That's not going to have any impact at all, right? So it's your P5 down there. Well, so what if that individual who goes like, is sitting there thinking, no, I actually think this could be huge. And so what they do is they go out and do some surveys or go talk to some customers and actually start generating evidence. And maybe they learn a thing or two that says, well, you guys were right, this P5 by itself. But what I learned was if we did P5 plus this, that,
Mm.
people were super excited about it. On these lower quadrants, it just needs more evidence. And even the person who has the idea and goes and talks to customers and the customers laugh at them and say like, no, that's horrible. At least that person comes back and goes, yeah, you guys were right. This was a lousy idea, right? And that closes the book on the idea. You actually feel better about that.
You all said it's low impact, but I went and I ran an analytics tool, or I went and, so you're just spurring intention. You're like getting people going.
I mean, I love brainstorming this stuff with you, Etienne, because we can come up with all of these different rules. But if you go into the low impact and high confidence, which pretty much means that you're very confident that it'll have a low impact, well, why not give that to a new employee then? I mean, maybe there's like these other things that you can it's still impact, right? It's still some level of impact. And so there's low risk there. So maybe there's a, you guys could get Mike Roberts on the phone, and that can be part of the apprenticeship program. And so these people are coming in and they get to work on these high confident, but lower impact and lower risk, additions to product or whatever. So I bet you your CTOs will totally figure out how to flesh out these different quadrants. But I love that. I love your on the fly doodles, man. It's like I'm gonna have to hire you for my workshops.
If you know how the organization responds to whatever projects are in whatever quadrants, that I think is where the magic happens. If you have a high degree of confidence that it's going to be low impact, then bring it, use that as a tool to immerse, educate, onboard, inspire, whatever, because you just know it doesn't have a detrimental effect on the organization. It's beautiful.
Right. Yep. And you never know, there might be, that's where your innovation actually really comes from, right? Somebody does something that was completely unexpected that has a big impact.